Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be the newest 2024 edition of 1 week, 1 shelf challenge. Basically, all of my shelves are in this tiny little jar. I'm picking one during the week. I have to read books from said shelf. We're trying to get to the books that I have forgotten. It's been a fun challenge. I've been doing it for a couple years, so we're gonna just go for it because I'm gonna be honest, I'm supposed to be reorganizing the shelves and I haven't been doing it. So I think maybe this challenge will help things out. I will try to find books that I have forgotten existed because it does happen. So I feel like this one gives me a little bit more, you know, room for choosing the books compared to my read it on haul it challenge. I can actually choose which book to read on the shelf. So which color is this? This is green. Green is fantasy, so I don't think that's gonna mean anything to you if it will focus. It never focuses. This is so annoying. But I shall be reading books from shelf number 11, which does not ring a bell whatsoever. So let's go see what's on there. Okay, so 11 means it's gonna be the second for last on here. So we have some interesting things going. I have read a lot of these actually. Just to give you an idea, I have read this. I have read only the first one actually. I've been hoarding this series, wanting to continue. I have yet to read this. I have not read this. I have read this. Ooh, is backward. Good sign. I couldn't find it the other day and then I found it. I have read this one. I have read, this is not, I guess it's fantasy. So I have a lot of options. I have read Practical Magic. Actually, I'm supposed to be reading this. I'm supposed to. I have so many other ones. I feel like I should continue this. And I have been meaning to, but the reviews weren't super good. And I should be trying this, but I haven't. And probably so many options. But I think we're going to start with this. If it goes well, I will either continue. I have this one too. Or I will go with this one. This is perfect. This is exactly what this challenge is for. I have been meaning to read this book for years, like literally at least 5 years, and I just never pick it up. I bought it because it's a standalone, which I feel like there aren't enough fantasy that were standalone, at least at the time. I feel like even since there were some that I had bought because they were standalone and then they became series, which like realistically, while I'm reading them, I'm happy that there's the next one, but still, yeah, I have no idea what it is about. So we're just gonna jump right into it and I will update you. Hopefully I enjoy it because I'm going to be honest, I have been in a reading slump. I started the year, the best book that I've read this year was the first book I read this year, and ever since it's been so hopefully this solves the reading slump. And before the end of the week, I need to like put all of these on the shelf and actually put, I'm going to be honest, okay? We're just confessing everything. I was never able to keep anything secret as a child. I need to actually put more shelves in there because I have bought books last year and I just put them on more shelves just because I'm supposed to be reorganizing everything and I haven't. So not every book is available for the challenge unless I put them in there, which will it happen? I don't know. So we're going to start with this, but before the end of the week, I need to actually do that. So I'll update you later. Okay, so first impression, I'm not super far into the book. I'm like almost 100 pages though. Still first impression-ish. I wanted to say, first off, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I expected. I feel like after all that time, I didn't know if I was going to hate it. Like, I've been burned a couple times. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. Clawdia is, like, spying on me. Hi. I'm really liking it. The only thing is, I remembered, as I was reading it, why people have mentioned something, that the titles were all like invented for the book, and yeah, for sure it's a little hard to follow, but mostly because English is my second language, it's not helping that some of the dialogues are said in like Old English, and like context clue I can figure it out, but like I never learned what exactly this thing means, you know, but it's just a few pieces, so it's not really a big deal. And even though it is about main character who ends up becoming the emperor, his father gets, but he's met him like once, so it's not like emotional, but even though it's dramatic setup, it's still giving me a little bit of cozy vibes. I don't know if I'm crazy. We'll see once I'm done with it. but I can see myself finishing it quickly enough that I can pick something else. So, but yeah, so far I am loving it. So finally, I feel like I've had a rough year so far. Hi, I finished a book. It took me a few days because it's obviously not a super short book. It's like 450 pages-ish. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to round it up to 5 stars because this was better than I expected. Not that I had, you know, low expectations. I really, really thought I was going to like it, and I did. And I still maintain that even though there are people trying to each other, because obviously political intrigue, right? Someone that nobody knows becomes the emperor, so like not everyone will support him. I still kind of got cozy vibes. But I really enjoyed this. I really liked the main character. I liked, like I said, the political intrigue. I liked that it was a good mix of, like, you're really following him the day he becomes the emperor, and just, you know, there's a lot of like day-to-day, which I feel like if you're not emotionally invested can be really boring, but when you are, it's great. Especially, it's rare in fantasy, I feel like. You don't see that often enough. And I feel like as a child, whenever I read like Harry Potter, for example, that's the bits that I liked. Like them going to classes and like the little day-to-day things. And that's what you get in here a little bit. Obviously, it's not magical school. It's him learning to be an emperor and like not being able to be friends with anyone because he's the emperor, but still making friends. And I feel like I'm not describing this right, but yes, obviously learning on the go to become an emperor, trying to figure out who's an ally, who's not. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was really emotionally invested, so I will be continuing. I'm gonna go and pick up the second one. Let's go back to shelf 11. I really want to continue the series. It needs to happen one day, but I really enjoyed this, so we're gonna go. Okay, I said the second one. It's not really the second one. This is a companion novel, I think. The only thing is, the character I think that you're following was probably my least favorite character in here. So like my expectations are not high like at all, but this one is more like a murder mystery, which you kind of get here too because the emperor, his father, was murdered. And I'm not going to give too much details because again, it's not super action driven. There's not that much that happens, but he is trying to solve, you know, who did it kind of thing, because he did have brothers and they were all at the same time. So that's why unexpectedly he became the emperor. So there was a little bit of a murder mystery in here too, but this one is following the character that was meant to solve that. So I'm assuming it's going to be another one. But yes, I didn't really care for the character. You don't get that much of him, to be honest, in this one anyway, but we're just going to go for it. I think I'm going to miss the main character because he was likable. Like, when someone wasn't meant to become an emperor and doesn't really want to in like a wholesome way, even though he went through a lot, I feel like they're likable. And that vague character, I don't know, my expectations are really low, as you can see. I have yet to reorganize anything. We're just not going to talk about it. And will it happen before the end? Who knows? Good morning. I finished, barely finished it. Frankly, I should have DNF'd it, but I don't know, I just couldn't I couldn't get into it. I even looked up the reviews and they're really positive, so apparently it's a me thing. I just could not connect with the main character, and the story was fine. Like, I have no hard feelings against it. I just, hi, Charlie's being very, very needy this morning. So yeah, I just could not connect with the main character, which meant that I just wasn't super invested. It just kind of annoyed me. But yes, apparently it's a me thing, so I've accepted that. Really? You're the real star. Okay, there, you've said your hello. But yeah, I just couldn't get that invested into it. I kind of missed the other world, the other characters. So it's fine. I think I'm gonna round it up to a 3, but if I'm being honest with myself, I should have just never finished it and picked up something else. But I didn't really have time to read anything else when I realized that, because I was mid-book. It's only 200 something pages, but I just didn't have time to pick something else, and I just decided, F it, I'm just gonna finish it. So yeah, I'm rounding it up to a 3 because I'm silly, because frankly it's probably more a 2, but it is what it is. Did I organize my shelves? No, No, I did not. So I think I'm gonna go and do that super quickly and put a few more papers in the jar so I can pick something else, because I think it was still successful though. Like, I feel like it finishes the week on a note, but 1 5-star, which I really wasn't expecting to finish much because I was in a reading slump really badly. Like last month, I didn't really talk about it, but at one point I tried like 6 different books. Like I read the first couple pages of like 6 different ones, could not get into it, so I just put them down. So the slump has been worse than I feel like I've been really portraying. So yeah, we'll see how things go though, but so far, so good. Okay, so I'm just gonna roughly put, these are red or in the middle of, so I'm gonna roughly put these on the shelves so I can pick them up, and then I need to add numbers for these shelves, as you can see, because these were not there last year and I'm reusing the papers. So let's put those. Very organized, you're gonna see. It's gonna be really, really good. I'm just gonna shove them somewhere and we're gonna call it a day. And I will still need to reorganize them somehow someday. This sounds fun, but you can see it's one of the books that I started and just kept starting more. So this one I read a chunk and I realized it was YA and cannot, but you know, I feel like someone needs to come and like take my right of becoming a booktuber, because what am I doing with my life? I should not be allowed, but here I am. We're just gonna do it with all of these. We're just gonna move that jar. Those are the ones I have read so far from this one. We're doing pretty good. I mean, didn't go well, but we're doing pretty good. Our both. Is this fantasy? Fantasy. Let's go. Sci-fi, 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 sci-fi. Ooh, fantasy. Where did I put this? We're pretend mystery thriller. Fantasy, sci-fi. We're gonna pretend that was good. That was good. Good enough. Okay, so these are all the shelves that I'm adding. So you can see I cannot count, and we're adding those in here. 1 second. There you go. And ta-da! I'm a real pro. Don't do this at home, you know, no scissors, who cares? So now we have a lot more shelves in here. So next week, at least there's a chance now that I can actually pick something that is new instead of older, which, to be fair, I should get to the older books, but I feel like it balances out all the classic sci-fi, which I'm terrified of. Those shelves, I don't want to read them. I feel like last month I picked one from the big jar and it went okay, to be fair, but now we have a bunch of new books. So crossing my fingers that next week goes as well as this week, because again, I think it went well. So I will see you then. Bye.